Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky may be separated, but Kyle still makes time for her in-laws. On The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show, which you can watch above, Kyle talked to her castmate Erica Jane about Mauricio's new condo. While mulling over the details of her ex's new living space, Kyle noted she hasn't yet visited, not for any particular reason, but because it just hasn't worked out yet. Mauricio did, however, suggest celebrating holidays at his place, but Kyle maintained their Encino home is still a better option for hosting family. The Jewish holidays just passed, and he said, "Can you come over and we'll do the holidays at my house?" And I was like, "I have more space here," Kyle shared. So, I've been still hosting the Jewish holiday dinners with his family. When Erica asked how that went, considering Kyle and Mauricio's separation, Kyle asserted everything was copacetic. "In those moments, we're just family," Kyle stated. Mauricio's journey to becoming a real estate powerhouse began long before he sold luxury homes. Born in Mexico City in 1970 to clothing manufacturer Eduardo Umansky and psychologist Estela Snyder, Mauricio experienced a major life change when his parents uprooted the family in the mid-1970s. In a 2021 video for Travis Matthew, he recalled, "My family moved to the U.S. in 1976. I was 6 years old. The decision," he explained, "was driven by mounting instability back home. It was a time in Mexico where the politics were very in turmoil. There was a lot of nationalism in terms of the government taking away businesses. There was a major devaluation of the peso. Seeking greater security and opportunity, the Umanskys settled in Los Angeles, where Eduardo opened a textile business. Working alongside his father exposed young Mauricio to the art of the deal. The reason that's important is because that helped shape me in what I now do, which is selling," he said, adding, "I've been selling all my life." Mauricio remained with the family enterprise until it was sold in the 1990s. Carrying forward the sales savvy he first learned on warehouse floors into his now famed career in high-end real estate. Kyle confirmed during the Robe Season 14 reunion that she and Mauricio Umansky are legally separated, though not divorced. Appearing on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen in December 2024, Kyle explained they remain good friends who get along really well, but now lead separate lives. She added during the reunion that they still talk every day. Season 14 documented this unusual dynamic. Viewers watched Kyle tell Mauricio she wanted to live apart and later discuss her feelings about him living his best life while she was still adjusting to hers. See how Kathy Hilton surprised Andy Cohen with this stunning declaration about Kyle and Mauricio. It's been nearly 2 years since Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky shocked Bravo fans by confirming their separation after 27 years of marriage. While their individual journeys have taken them down very different paths, Mauricio navigating his career and public life as a reality star on Buying Beverly Hills, and Kyle embracing a newfound independence, fans have remained curious about one key detail. Where does Kyle stand with Mauricio's family today? In an exclusive interview with Outlet, Kyle opened up for the first time in depth about her relationship with her former in-laws and how the split has and hasn't changed those dynamics. "For me, the hardest part of this wasn't just the end of my marriage," Kyle admits, sitting in a sun-drenched corner of her Encino home, her ever-iconic emerald eyes glimmering with emotion. "It was everything that came with it. The extended family, the traditions, the history." Kyle had grown especially close with Mauricio's mother, Estela Snyder, over the years, often referring to her as a second mom. Estela, a prominent Beverly Hills psychologist and media personality herself, had become a fixture in Kyle's life, both on and off screen. "We went through so much together. She was there when I had Portia. She was there for every birthday, every holiday," Kyle says. So when Mauricio and I separated, it wasn't as simple as walking away from a relationship. It was mourning an entire family structure. Despite the separation, Kyle is quick to clarify that her relationship with Estela and Mauricio's sisters didn't evaporate overnight. When everything happened, Estella was incredibly gracious, Kyle shares. She reached out to me immediately, and we talked for hours. She told me, no matter what happens between you and Mauricio, I will always love you. That meant the world to me. According to Kyle, that sentiment wasn't just a fleeting moment of compassion. It's been consistent. We still talk. Not as often, but we do. She sent me a message on my birthday this year that made me cry. She reminded me that family isn't always about blood, and that I'll always be in hers. That said, Kyle is honest about how things have changed. We're not doing Sunday dinners at our house anymore. I'm not getting included in every family group chat. And that's okay. It's painful, but it's part of the process. When it comes to Mauricio's sisters, Kyle doesn't sugarcoat the complexities. I've always had different relationships with each of his sisters, she explains. Some of them were closer to me than others. One sister in particular was always more guarded, and since the split, we've barely spoken. But she adds that another sister has remained incredibly kind and supportive. She reached out after the season of Robe aired where we shared the news. She just said, I know this wasn't easy for you to go through, especially in front of the world. I see you. That message came at a time when I felt very alone, and it reminded me that some bonds really do transcend divorce. Still, Kyle acknowledges that maintaining relationships with an ex's family is a tightrope walk, especially with cameras rolling. There's a fine line, she says. I never want to put anyone in an uncomfortable position. I know they love Mauricio and want to support him, and I respect that. But I also can't pretend like those relationships didn't matter to me. Kyle reveals she made the conscious decision not to attend certain family events last year out of respect for the new boundaries. Mauricio's niece got married, and I was invited, but I declined. It didn't feel right to be there when I knew the energy would be weird. I wanted them to have their moment without anything distracting from it. One thing that has remained a priority for Kyle and Mauricio is their daughters, Farah from Kyle's previous marriage, Alexia, Sophia, and Portia. We're still doing holidays together, Kyle confirms. It's not always easy, but we're doing it for the girls. And sometimes those family gatherings include Mauricio's relatives. We had Thanksgiving together, all of us, including Estella. It was a little awkward at first, but we ended the night with a lot of laughter. It reminded me that love can still exist in a new form. When asked if she sees a future where she and Mauricio's family can fully reclaim their closeness, Kyle is hopeful but realistic. I think we're all trying to figure out what this new version of our family looks like, she says. It's not what it was, and it never will be. But that doesn't mean it can't still be something meaningful. For fans who have followed Kyle's journey from the very first season of Robe, her connection to Mauricio and his family has been a cornerstone of her storyline. It's a past she says she'll never run from. I'm not erasing that part of my life. I spent 3 decades building that family, Kyle says. Just because a chapter ends doesn't mean you tear out the pages. She adds, I'm grateful for the memories, and I'm learning to be grateful for the changes too, even the hard ones. As for her current relationship status, Kyle remains tight-lipped. Right now, I'm focused on myself. I'm figuring out what makes me happy, and part of that includes holding space for the people who shaped my life, even if we're not in each other's daily orbit anymore. Through tears, laughter, and an undeniable strength, Kyle Richards is forging a new path. And while it may not include Mauricio's family in the same way it once did, the love isn't gone. It's just evolving. They were my family, and in a lot of ways, they still are. Just differently now.